What's up, Dallas fans? In this video, we're going over my expectations for the Mavericks in the 2025-26 NBA season. I'm going to try not to bring Luka Doncic up at all, but if it happens, I'm sorry. Let's start out with the fact that the Dallas Mavericks got the #1 pick, got blessed, and got Cooper Flag, because it's so hard for me not to bring up Luka right now, because that just seems ridiculous, right? A 1% chance to get the first pick, and they do, but I'm not going to hate. You know what? I think Dallas fans deserve that. They've been through a lot. They get one of the best players in the draft that we've seen in a decade. Actually, I forgot about Wemby. Outside of Wemby, this guy's a generational talent, bro. Cooper Flag. You got a healthy AD who has come out and said that he's going to be wearing goggles for the rest of his career because he had to go get eye surgery, I believe, went to the eye doctor. It's so crazy because when my dad was here, we would always be talking about, Anthony Davis and the Lakers, because obviously he played for the Lakers, and he would get poked in the eye a lot. And my dad would say, he would make this joke that AD gets poked in the eye every single game, and it never shocked him, and he just needs to go to goggles. And I agreed. I always thought Anthony Davis needed to wear goggles, go the Kareem route, but AD always turned it down. He always said, no, I'm not going to wear them unless the doctor says I have to. Well, the fact that he's come out and said not only is he going to wear them for this year, but the rest of his career, is basically telling me the doctors are saying this eye injury was serious. And I believe he had this eye injury with the Lakers. It could have been with the Mavs. I know he got poked in the eye a billion times with the Lakers, and I know he did it with the Mavs as well. This guy had big eyeballs, bro. Something. I don't even know. I think it's just when you're a big man and you're constantly attacking the rim, you're under the rim, and you're, a factor in the paint, people are going to foul you. And I think people just always hit his eyes. Like, they have magnets in his eyeballs. So I'm so happy that Anthony Davis is finally going to goggles, and I'm kind of disappointed and sad that he didn't do it with the Lakers, because it would have been, that Kareem type of thing. But it's cool. Hey, man, we get to see goggled AD. So now you got that front court set. Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis. Oh, wait a second. They want to go big because AD said, I want to play power forward. They still have Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford. What concerns me about that is the fact that I don't know if Derrick Lively's ever going to be what he could have been. Here I go with Luka Doncic. Like, I don't want to say I think Lively was Luka made, but I think Luka really made Lively look better than what he was currently. That's not to say I don't think he's going to be what he can be, because I think Derrick Lively coming to the league, regardless of whether or not he had Luka, he had very high potential. That's why he was drafted in the first 10 picks of the draft. But I also think Luka Doncic made this guy as a rookie look elite. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that. But the good news is Dallas went out in free agency knowing that Kyrie Irving is going to be hurt at least half the season, and got D'Angelo Russell. Not only is D'Angelo Russell a very fun player to watch, a very, very good playmaker, and I always used to say he was the best playmaker on the Lakers, and I thought he was a better playmaker than LeBron James when he wanted to be. He's also played with Anthony Davis before. So I think D'Angelo Russell is a great signing for the Dallas Mavericks, and knowing that they have Anthony Davis, Derrick Lively, and of course Daniel Gafford, the shot blocker himself, allows D'Angelo Russell to be able to compete for a championship with this team because he's got a back line of defense. The reason D'Angelo Russell wasn't working out for the Lakers, outside of his struggles against Denver for some reason, was his defense. Like, he just was not a good defender. I don't expect that to change. D'Angelo Russell's not a good defender. But when you have Anthony Davis at power forward and Daniel Gafford in at the 5, who I expect to start probably over Derrick Lively, but even if it is Derrick Lively, you got two really good rim protectors. So you can afford to let them in the paint if you're D'Angelo Russell, which again is why I think that they made a really good move in signing him. Him and Anthony Davis are really good friends, so they have really good chemistry. And I think Derrick Lively's development isn't going to be hurt too bad because they got a pick and roll point guard, because that's what D'Angelo Russell is. I know a lot of people see the threes that he takes. I know he broke a Lakers record, a franchise record for most threes in a season. And by the way, that was breaking Kobe Bryant's record. That was breaking Van Exel's record. So this guy is capable of being a really good offensive player. And you have Klay Thompson alongside that. We were watching some Klay Thompson off-season runs on the Patreon. Link is in the description. And Klay looks solid, man. Klay hasn't lost a step. I know they were asking him questions about Make Stallion, blah, blah. He did not look like he liked that. People are trying to come up with rumors that, oh, maybe they broke up. Man, you just don't ask those dumb questions. We're here to play basketball. And I'm sure that's the only thing on Klay Thompson's mind. Obviously, we've seen all the viral pictures of him and Meg, and hey, man, shout out to him. He got Make Stallion, bro. Lucky man. But he also said he hasn't changed anything that he has done to prepare for NBA seasons, and he's locked in. He's trained the same way as he does always. I expect Klay Thompson to be ready. I hope that he could stay healthy this year because it just seemed like he just didn't play. Obviously not every game last year, but it just didn't seem like he played a lot as much as he should have played. So I think the backcourt is pretty solid. They lose Spencer Dinwiddie. Obviously they lost Luka. They're losing Kyrie for half the year. So somebody's going to have to step in. And I think Brandon Williams could do that. Like this guy in the play-in tournament looked really good. And even if that don't work, they still have Dante Exum. They still have Jaden Hardy, and they actually went out and signed Dennis Smith Jr., and on top of that, they also have Ryan Nembhard, who looked good for one Summer League game. So they have some pieces at the guard position to throw in there if they need help until Kyrie gets back. Because when Kyrie Irving is back, my expectations are very high for this Dallas team. Like I think that they could be really good. You think about Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Gafford, and then it's tough because it's like, okay, where's PJ going to fit? Because I just named him in the starting lineup. I just named Gafford and Lively in the starting lineup because AD wants to play that forward. But Cooper Flag cannot come off the bench. This guy is a really good player and not just like a scorer and a guy that's just going to go get you 30 every night. Like he's a good basketball player. He's a guy that you want talent around because he knows how to play team ball. So going back to what I was saying, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson's got to be in the starting lineup. This guy is a champion, multiple-time champion. Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and then you decide who that fifth is going to be. I think when Kai comes back, those have to be 4 players in the starting lineup. And then it comes down to whether or not Anthony Davis is okay playing center again, because I know he doesn't want to. That's why he wanted not necessarily to be traded. He didn't want to be traded, but he told Rob Pelinka when he was with the Lakers, he wants to play power forward, go get a center. We never did, and we still never did after we traded him until now. But we're not talking about the Lakers. Will Anthony Davis be okay playing center? Because if he is, I think PJ Washington is a great player to have in that starting lineup. But if AD wants to play the 4, I still think Gafford and Lively could start. And I think PJ might have to take a back seat because of Cooper Flag. So my biggest concern for the team is keeping my eye on PJ Washington and Najee Marshall, who was a big part of this team last year. And I think he's going to get an even bigger role when he comes off the bench. And I'm also considering these things when Kyrie Irving is back, right? But especially during the start of the season when Kai's out, Najee's going to have to come off the bench and be that point forward that we know Najee can be. Like he's proven he could be a point forward. We're going to see a really solid season, in my opinion, from Najee Marshall coming off the bench. Again, my concern is whether or not PJ Washington is going to be happy, because I think eventually he's going to have to be replaced by Cooper Flag. Probably. Like, I know PJ is a great player, and I want your guys' opinion as well. Like, do you think PJ Washington will be replaced in the starting lineup, or is he too valuable for the team? And of course, they still got Max Christie, man. I love Max Christie. Like, this was a solid defender, like probably the best perimeter defender we had in LA. And then we traded him to Dallas when he was already high and had really good start in Dallas. So I think him in a starting lineup with all those guys, or even coming off the bench when you're trying to, make some subs and say Klay Thompson comes out, I think Max Christie could fill that Klay Thompson role perfectly if Klay Thompson is not able to give you the defense that you need, and maybe you want to go PJ and AD. And now that I'm talking about all this, I realize how much versatility that this team has. And it's kind of similar to what I was talking about with the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs had a lot of versatility. I think the Dallas Mavericks have a lot of versatility. I know Nico Harrison, I know you guys probably don't like me saying his name, but he wanted a defensive-minded team. He has Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Derrick Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. Those are elite defenders. And then, of course, my opinion, you have Max Christie, who is also an elite defender. So you have really good defenders on this team. And especially if D'Angelo Russell cannot be in the lineup because he's struggling with defense, or Jaden Hardy can't be in the lineup because he's struggling with defense, Brandon Williams can't be in the lineup because he's struggling with defense. You know, you have some pieces to come in the game and be defensive like Nico Harrison wants. I'm sure Jason Kidd can find a game plan out. I think it's going to be a little bit rocky at the start of the season without Kyrie Irving, though. We've seen them run the offense a little bit too much through AD in the play-in last year. Yeah, the play-in tournament last year. But in all honesty, like, they only had him for 20 games, and they kind of just had to wing it. That's what it felt like. So now they got a full training camp ahead of them with Cooper Flagg, AD. The team is going to have more versatility. They're not going to rely so much on Anthony Davis. Hopefully Kyrie could come back. And if he does, this team's scary. Like, I could see them for sure being top 5 in the West. And if they make the playoffs, like, they're a dark horse to be in the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion. Like, this team, defensive minded. Anthony Davis alone is an NBA champion. Kyrie Irving is an NBA champion. Klay Thompson is a multiple-time NBA champion. These guys got players who have the experience. But some of those players, most of those players, actually every player I said, is pretty much getting older. So the window for the Mavericks is very small right now. Until, of course, you realize that they have Cooper Flagg. But I think their championship window is small. They got 1 to 2 years to do it. I think this Dallas season comes back. It comes down to whether or not Kyrie Irving could play. And he could, get in there quick enough to find his rhythm with this new team. 11 hours ago, Jason Kidd shut down rumors on Kyrie's injury timetable. So they don't even want to talk about it. But they are hinting at a sooner than expected return. And it's going incredibly well. These are all quotes that I'm looking at right now. And I really think that he's going to play this year. So I think Kai's going to play this year. I think he actually could get in there maybe after All-Star break, maybe a little bit later towards the season. Maybe, I don't know, March, April. And the Mavs season is going to be dependent on him. We seen in the NBA Finals, Kyrie did not show up, bro. He didn't. So maybe now that he's going to have the ball a lot more in his hands, he's got Cooper Flagg and AD around him, who I think is a better piece than Luka. Like, I never thought Luka and Kyrie would work out. They made the finals together. That shocked the hell out of me. I was wrong about that in a sense because I didn't think they would make it that far. But then I seen the fit, it wasn't really there. If Kyrie Irving had a full season with the Dallas Mavericks, I would think they would be top 3 seed in the West. But because he's not, and I already have my top 3 locked, which is going to be the Thunder, the Rockets, and the Nuggets. Not in order, just those 3 teams I think are going to be the 3 best teams in the West, if you were wondering. I think because Kai is injured half the year, Dallas is going to be somewhere right outside of there in the middle of the pack in the West. That is my expectations for the Dallas Mavericks. But if Kyrie Irving could come back early enough to figure it out with this new roster and Cooper Flagg and all of them, and they find an identity, which I'm not sure they are going to, I think they could win the championship and I think they could be contenders. But like I said, that window's small because AD's not getting younger, Klay Thompson's not getting younger, Kai's not getting younger. So I think it's going to be a lot of desperation towards the end of the year, but I could definitely see the Dallas Mavericks somehow making the Western Conference Finals, making a run for the finals. I don't expect them to be a top 3 seed in the West, but hey, you never know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Mavs fans, I want to know if you guys agree, disagree with anything I said. You're still mad about the Luka thing, how you feel about Cooper Flagg. Do you think Kai's going to be able to play this season? Do you have more information than I do on whether or not he's going to come back earlier than I thought or later than I thought? And do you think PJ Washington is going to be that odd man left out? Let me know. Hit that like button to support the channel. If you guys want to watch more content, go subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description. I'm out of here. This is ZTAY. Peace.